Hi everyone, welcome to my newest birth chart natal chart reading. And it's a sad one. It's Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter has unfortunately passed away, I believe, today. And it really sucks because I grew up with Aaron Carter. I used to have his albums on a replay on my little CD player back in the 90s, the late 90s. And he was like the cool kid back then. And it's interesting to see how his life became and what's happened. So the last time I remember like really hearing about Aaron was in college years ago. He was playing a show near me, and I think I was just out and about with my friends in the city. I think it was a weekend probably, and I ran into some friends from my freshman year of college, and they were waiting in line to get into the show. It was a packed show. This was probably back in like maybe 2013, 2014, maybe 20, probably 2013, 2014. And yeah, I never got into the show because I think I was with a totally different group of friends, and we just, I don't know. Anyways, that's how it was back in college, back in those days. So it's so sad to hear this. Um, I'm Lamarr Townsend. I'm a psychic. I'm an energy channeler. I'm a tarot reader, and I'm an astrologer. So if you would like your own personal reading, I am available on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. I didn't want to do a tarot reading because I didn't want to necessarily channel energy, but I'm doing a birth chart reading. But even with birth chart readings, I channel energy, so it is what it is. I mean, I had to do this. I loved Aaron Carter growing up, so I was just like, what the heck? I loved Backstreet Boys growing up, which I think his brother was in Backstreet Boys, right? Because NSYNC was Justin Timberlake. Anyway, so yes, you guys can text me at 703-791-9162. By the way, just to let you guys know, this is part of my job. This is what we do as astrologers and psychics. We look into things, we find answers, we seek insight and things of this nature. So people come to us all the time with these types of cases, with these types of situations, wanting answers, wanting insight. So this is part of our job. I get a lot of comments when I do these types of readings when someone's recently passed. I get so many well, not so many comments really. It's mostly positive, but then there's those comments every now and then, and then there's those people that go way too far and will message you on Instagram or on Facebook, and will be like, "Why are you doing a reading on this person? They just passed away, and your reading was wrong," and blah 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 blah. Just gonna delete it. All right, if you catch me on a bad day, if I wake up and I see your message, and it's the first thing I see in the morning, I might cuss you out. I'm not gonna lie, and then I'll delete you. So just leave it alone. If you don't agree with it, hit the dislike button. Move on. Click off the video. It is what it is. I am a fan of Aaron Carter, and this is my job. This is my career. This is what I do. All right. So that is what that is. If you would like a reading from me, once again, definitely check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. You can text me at 703-791-9162. I am also available for international clients as well. You can also email me at lamar.townsend@gmail.com. And if you would like your own reading, first of all, by the way, I do have a second YouTube channel, Lamarr Townsend, formerly Lamarr Does Life. I do horoscopes on this channel, so if you want your horoscope, make sure you subscribe over here. But I also do other content. I do a lot of cooking videos, vlogs, and I just do like random content or like lifestyle content and things of that nature over here. So definitely subscribe. And also check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. Once again, this is my website, so once you've reached this website, you know you're on the right page. You can definitely scroll down and read the reviews from people who have purchased readings from me. And then, if you would like, you can follow me down here on Instagram and Facebook. Be mindful that there's also a scam going on Cash App. Someone has, I only have two Cash Apps. I have $ Lamarr Townsend and $ Lamarr Townsend Tarot. Some scammer found themselves creating another profile, $Lamarr Townsend without a D on the end. So it's $LamarrTownsend. All right, no D at the end. Please go on Cash App and report this person. This person is not me. I am working with Cash App about this, so just be mindful of that. That there is that going on. So with that being said, if you would like a reading from me, definitely check out the store section of my website, which is the safest way to get a reading from me in terms of those types of things. All right. because this is a safe and secure website, all right, designed and created by me in WordPress, all right. So, yes, I do different types of readings. I do email readings. I do phone readings. I do video recorded readings. I do candles. I do birth chart readings, natal chart readings, which is basically what we're about to do for Aaron. Aaron, oh Aaron, da, 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 da. If you remember that song, hit the like button because I'm telling you, I used to be a big fan of Aaron and the whole Shaq song. That album was actually really kind of a good album. And then he had like an album or a couple, maybe a couple albums before that. Talking too much. Anyways, I also do past life readings if you want to learn about your past lives. I do mediumship readings as well if you want to channel the ancestral, your ancestors in the spiritual realm. I do dream interpretation readings and so much more. I also do tarot classes, astrology classes as well. So I would definitely check out those things. With that being said, let's get into the topic at hand on Aaron Carter. Um, so here is I typed in Aaron Carter on Google, and it's kind of sad because they already have his death date, month, and year here. The internet is fast. The internet never fails to, you know, cease to amaze me in terms of its fastness. But at the same time, the media is fast, and the internet is considered the media. So, anyways, it says here that Aaron Carter was born on December 7th, 1987. So let's put that in our natal chart. Luckily, I already have December, so let's put, I think he's December 7th, right? December 7th, 1987. Let's give my computer a little bit of time to catch up. I've been working on it all day, doing content, doing client readings, so, you know, it's probably, might need a reboot after I record this video. Oh, gosh. Alright, finally. December 7th, 1987, and he was born, I guess, in Tampa, Florida. Interesting. I didn't know he was born in Florida. Alright, Tampa, Florida. Tampa. Oh, this is going to take a minute. Give me a second. Alright, here we finally have Tampa, Florida. Alright, so we'll set that as Aaron's location. So just to remind you guys, first of all, in the center here, the numbers are the numbers of the houses. So this would be the first house, the second, the third house. In the center here, we have Aaron Carter's actual planets, meaning these are the placements of the planets in the sky that Aaron Carter, the day, the month, the year that Aaron Carter was born. Here we have Aaron Carter's actual zodiac sign houses. Now I'm gonna try and look for the time he was born. But if we can't find the time he was born, we might not be able to focus on his houses. On the outside here, we have the planets in terms of how the planets were the day he actually passed away, which is what we're gonna set up now. So here it says he passed away November 5th. So I'm going to change it to November 5th, 2022. And let me see if I can move the camera just for a second because I want you guys to see. So the background, the core data is Aaron's data here, and then the background data is the actual data of the day he passed away. So he passed away once again November 5th, 2022. I'm going to try and find the time he passed away too. And it says Lancaster, California. So let's put in Lancaster, California. Perfect. Alright, so let's try and find the time maybe he passed, since it's kind of a hot topic already. Let's go with TMZ, because TMZ is usually good when it comes to... Oh, let me turn the camera back on, so you guys can see. TMZ is usually good when it comes to time frames. So let's see. Sorry, you guys, my computer's slow. It's a Mac, iMac, but it's an older iMac. It's a 2014 iMac, I think. So 4:53 p.m., 4:03 p.m., the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department tells TMZ Aaron Carter's house sitter found his body in the bathtub and called authorities. So we'll use 4:03 p.m. as the time then, because that's, I guess, when his body was found by his house sitter. Which is, that's so sad. All right. Let's move the camera one more time, and we'll finish this up over here. So we'll put 4:03 p.m. I think, right? 4:03 p.m. Perfect. 4:03 p.m. Give it a second for it to change up the placements of the planets and stuff. Alright. Now, if we can just find the time he was born, we'll have the perfect recipe to really figure out what happened here. Birth time. So usually when you type in someone's birth time, especially if they're a celebrity, particularly if they're a celebrity, a lot of times you'll have these astrology databases that have already done their astrology charts, and sometimes they'll have the time. So the way I like to confirm these types of things is if I see it more than once, more than twice, I'm gonna, take it not necessarily as fact, but reliable. So here it says December 7th, 1987, which is exactly what we have here. December 7th, 1987. He was born in Tampa, Florida, so that's correct. It says 8:02 a.m. is when Aaron Carter was born here. That website is astro.com. Astro-charts.com also says 8:02 a.m. here. All right. It says 8:02 a.m. there, 8:02. So we're going to use the time 8:02 a.m. as the time that Aaron Carter was actually born. All right. And there we go. We have the chart. We have our setup to kind of see what's going on here. I always feel like with these chart readings, I'm like an interrogator. You know how some like detectives come in and question the suspects, kind of thing. Like I feel like I like watching those videos sometimes. Anyways, so here we have Aaron Carter's chart here, and once again, Aaron Carter's chart is in the center. And on the outside, we have the placements of the planets on the day he actually passed, or technically, in terms of time frame and things of that nature. This is actually these are the placements of the planets, the day and time his body was specifically found. All right. So Aaron, it looks like, was a Sagittarius sun. Based on the time, month, day, and year that he was born, what we saw, he was a Sagittarius sun. Mercury in Sagittarius, and also had Saturn in Sagittarius, all in his 12th house in Sagittarius. So first of all, the 12th house in astrology does deal with secrets, life behind closed doors, one's need for solitude and peace, one's connection to spirituality. Sagittarius deals with the 9th house in astrology. It's ruled by Jupiter. So Sagittarius is about higher education, higher learning, stepping outside one's comfort zones, being open-minded to different cultures, religions, one's personal opinions and beliefs. Sagittarius also does deal with long distance travel as well. Sagittarius also does deal with optimism, taking risks. So with his sun in Sagittarius, first of all, he may have been a very jittery person, because this is a lot of Sagittarius energy. He has his sun, his Mercury, and his Saturn conjunct in his 12th house in Sagittarius. He may have been a jittery person, and because Sagittarius is the need for solitude, the 12th house is the need for solitude, and Sagittarius can be like a very restless type of zodiac sign and energy. Sagittarius is fire, by the way. He may have been someone who was very restless, may have been very jittery, and he may have had vices maybe that made him jittery. Now we know he had substance abuse and things of that nature, which the 12th house can also deal with substance abuse and things of that nature, which is interesting because he may, There may be some secrets because the 12th house does deal with secrets in terms of maybe his career. Saturn does deal with the career, professional destiny, status in society, the past. Definitely has some secrets in his past. Maybe things he did, things he saw, things he experienced. He definitely grew up fast, most likely. There may also be some secrets with the father in some way, shape, or form because Saturn does deal with the father as well and the father side of the family or father figure. So there may have been some sort of father figure that could have been prominent for him. um, Growing up, maybe in particular. He has Sun in Sagittarius. The Sun deals with one's life purpose, one's connection to their higher self, one's sense of creativity, self expression, one's approach to romance and romantic energy. It is also one's aesthetic. So, in terms of his romantic life, he could have had some secrets there too. Mercury in Sagittarius is one's thoughts, communication, the mind, one's young childhood to young adult years. So, in terms of his young childhood to young adult years, there's definitely probably some secrets there too. I have Mercury in Sagittarius. I don't have it in the 12th house, but I know from having Mercury in Sagittarius that Mercury in Sagittarius people, we can also be very restless in our mind. We can talk very, very fast, as you can see right now, like I'm doing. But with him having Mercury in Sagittarius, especially in his 12th house, he would have been someone that was like a very out of the box thinker, harbored a lot of secrets in his mind too. He knew a lot, he knew a lot, like, um, not just in terms of what he saw or heard, but what he knew in terms of his actual knowledge, because Sagittarius does deal with knowledge. Now, what's interesting is that Mercury is actually the opposite of Sagittarius. So this shows that he may not have always been like the best at like expressing himself in certain ways. He may have gotten like easily frustrated in some way, shape, or form, especially maybe when he was young. He may have been like spunky, spicy, and I remember him being that way when he was young. But there may have been certain instances, maybe he was situations he may have been put in when he was young where he didn't know what to say or do. Maybe it was a new experience and he had to like find his voice over time. So, Sagittarius, Jupiter can also be the, energy of like lessons. um, he definitely was a very outspoken person, a very much a jack of all trades. So he did, we know him for music mainly, but he, with his Mercury in Sagittarius, Sun in Sagittarius, Saturn in Sagittarius, he may have also been someone once again who had a lot of talents. Actually, he was good at music, but he may have also been good at certain studies actually, because Sagittarius can actually be very highly intelligent. There may have been secret like interests that he had, or secret hobbies that he had in some way, shape, or form. To some degree there could have been a secret life, maybe, to be honest with you, with this type of energy. But he would have been someone where like he could definitely blow a gasket. Like he like definitely also has the energy with this being like a whistleblower. Like, so to some degree he was a whistleblower, had the energy of being a whistleblower. And that kind of like makes me wonder. I wonder if that plays an aspect here. All right, let's go ahead. We see his sun is in Sagittarius. I wonder where his moon is. His moon is in Cancer here. Um, it looks like in his seventh house in Gemini. The moon in astrology does deal with one's emotions, one's connection to their family, their home, their mother specifically. The moon also does deal with the what one needs to feel emotionally secure and safe in the world. So, the seventh house does deal with relationships, one-on-one relationships, business partnerships, marriage, things of this nature. Gemini is, he has the seventh house in Gemini. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury once again. So this is young childhood to young adult years. This guy may have been getting in relationships or may have been exposed to certain relationships early on. Like, this guy may have had legit girlfriends or legit, whatever early on. Like, he may have been, he definitely may have had people vying for his attention, his love as a young child. Um, and, because Gemini does rule young childhood to young adult years, this definitely, like, gives, like, grooming energy, to be honest with you. Like, he may have definitely been groomed at a young age in some way, shape, or form, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. And with the moon being in Cancer here in the seventh house, this could specifically deal with family. I don't know if he was married or like at the timing of his passing, if he was in a relationship, but even like his spouse's, family or his partner's family, he would need to, kind of be mindful of. But that family aspect is really important for him. Um, and with 7,000 Gemini communication is very, part of a 7,000 Gemini's love language would be like communication. A very lighthearted energy. So in terms of like a lover or like a person in a being in a friendship or relationship with him, Aaron may have been very lighthearted, to be honest with you, and he may have been someone where like like he treated people like family, or he saw certain people as family. Now, were the people he trusted as family always had the best intent? I'm not sure, because the day he passed, Lilith was in Cancer. Lilith is the darker side of one's personality, the shadow side of one's personality. So there's a shadow aspect here in terms of his emotions. Did he trust someone he shouldn't have trusted? Once again, this can run the gamut of in terms of suspects allegedly family, either his family, his biological family, someone he regarded as family, the family of his spouse or partner in some way, shape, or form. These could all be important aspects, but it would be someone he emotionally had a connection to or trusted. You know, um, Definitely could play a role here in some way, shape, or form. Lilith and Cancer can also deal with jealousy, envy, at times. Lilith and Cancer can also deal with, Cancer specifically can deal with the home. So with his moon in Cancer, he found solace in his home. But he may have been the type of person with his moon being in Cancer in Gemini. Gemini is very adaptable. So, say for example, he may have been someone maybe who may have been very anxious, especially with like that strong Sagittarius energy, which by the way, his 12th house would be in total opposition to his 7th house. So in terms of like where like his relationships, like there were some people where he may have like there may have been people in his life that he trusted who knew where the bodies were buried. Like Aaron Carter may have been someone where like if he trusted you or regarded you as family or a friend, you get a key to his home or something like that, for goodness sakes. Like this is this kind of energy, you know. So say for example, like I was saying, going back to my, initial thought or initial, point. Say for example, Aaron was going through a period where he felt like anxious and he couldn't go out, and maybe he needed to isolate himself a bit, but he still wanted to be around people. He would just invite you over, and you can stay over, for maybe, a couple hours, days, weeks, whatever on end if you wanted to. Like, once again, that type of person, like, family's family. But when you give to someone too much access, with Lilith and Cancer here, you know, um, there can be some betrayal. All right? Interesting. Um, his rising sign is also in Sagittarius, so he was Sun in Sagittarius, rising sign in Sagittarius, and a Moon in Cancer. Very fiery, but very sensitive and emotional at the same time. He also has his Uranus in Sagittarius, his Neptune in Capricorn, and Venus in Capricorn in his first house as well. So Aaron always put out an energy of being very sociable, very fun, lighthearted. He probably had a great sense of humor, to be honest with you, with all this Sagittarius energy. Cancer Moon can probably also be, very funny as well. Like, like looking at things from a funny perspective. But with Neptune in Capricorn and Venus in Capricorn, he may have definitely been a loner to some degree. Venus and Capricorn. Venus is once again that house of, or that placement of relationships, one-on-one relationships, business partnerships, marriage, things of this nature. Capricorn does deal with career, professional destiny, status in society, the past, karma, debt, things of this nature. So this tells me that in terms of relationships or marriage or him joining, partnering with someone or something maybe. There's definitely energy where he may do something to benefit his career. He may get with someone or marry someone or agree to some sort of contract with someone to benefit his career in some way, shape, or form. Venus and Capricorn is also how you make your money, so he's definitely about his money. Long term goals, long term aspirations is Capricorn, so he may have been someone who may not have been, necessarily, afraid to sign a contract for 10 years or, however many years if he knew he was going to get, this much, out of it over a certain amount of time. Like that can be that Venus and Capricorn energy. And then I have to be honest with you guys, the day he passed, Pluto was in Capricorn in his first house. Pluto is the house of death, or Pluto is the planet of death. Pluto's also the planet of evolution, change, growth, things of this nature. Pluto in Capricorn would be, evolution, death, and, related to career. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, so Saturn also does rule the father side of the family. Is the father side of the family or the father somehow associated with this in some way, shape, or form? Like, even if not directly or indirectly, this is all alleged, just saying. But because Pluto's in Capricorn here with the placement of death, and his Venus is in Capricorn here, there's definitely a potential that other people are involved. It may have been someone that he was closely linked to, maybe someone he was doing business with, may have been a business partner in some way, shape, or form. Once again, this is alleged. Someone maybe who knew the potential of Aaron Carter, maybe, and his image in some way, shape, or form, and maybe wanting to, like, control the narrative in some way, because the first house does deal with one's image, how other people see them, how one sees themselves. So there could have been, if someone else is involved, this could have been, a cover up in the form of, like, well, it's already, kind of known, or it's, there's already an image out here of him being, someone who was maybe not, sloppy, because Sagittarius, to be honest with you, can be very sloppy when you have all this strong Sagittarius energy in your chart. Also, going back to his 12th house, the 12th house is the house of escapism and secret vices. So, the need to set boundaries. So he may have also, once again, had issues setting boundaries at times. But when he did set a boundary, it was done. So I'm also wondering, was this a case of he's setting a boundary, he's done, and, someone wasn't happy about it? Yeah, but with this rising sun in Sagittarius, someone maybe wanted to control the narrative, possibly, allegedly. Sagittarius is also expansion, so it's like maybe with his Pluto, being his first house conjunct to not only his Venus in Capricorn, but his Neptune in Capricorn. Neptune deals with secrets, life behind closed doors, one's need for solitude and privacy. So someone, if this does involve someone else, I'm just going to say allegedly, but just based on the chart that I'm seeing, we have this Venus in Capricorn, conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto's the planet of death. And then we have this moon in Cancer conjunct Lilith in Cancer here. Lilith is the shadow side, the underside of one's personality, the seedy side of one's personality. All of this energy, this moon in Cancer conjunct Lilith in Cancer energy, in the seventh house, in his seventh house in Gemini. The seventh house is also the house of one-on-one relationships and business partnerships. So some way, somehow, this Aaron Carter's passing involves a relationship he had or some sort of business partnership that he had. Once again, allegedly. Neptune in Capricorn conjunct Pluto in Capricorn tells me that this somehow involves secrets being buried, or once again, someone knowing his secrets in some way, shape, or form. Maybe someone knew, the time of day that he does this, or maybe someone knew his schedule. Like, this could be one of those things, where it's like they knew him. This is in the first house, so this is, I know this person based on their patterns. It's like, the first house is the first thing you think of when you think of someone. The first house is also the first impressions one makes. The first house is one's physical appearance. So I'm wondering maybe how his physical appearance in terms of his autopsy could be prominent in some way, shape, or form. But I will say, you guys, the first house also does deal with violence. The first house deals with war, aggression. So there may have been some aspect of violence, war, aggression here. Once again, the autopsy would show these things, though. In terms of body parts, though, because we have Pluto here, I told you guys I'm like an interrogator and an investigator when it comes to these types of things. Actually, let me take a quick, I need to parch my throat and we'll get back. We'll get right back to this. Alright, I'm back. So he has Pluto conjunct his Venus, which would be Taurus and Libra, and Neptune would be Pisces. So let's see. Pluto, first of all, rules the reproductive organs, the pelvis, the urinary bladder, the rectum, and body fluids. Just putting that out there. Pluto in Capricorn. So Capricorn could be related to the knees, the bones, and the skin. If he was in the tub, maybe his skin could be prominent in some way, shape, or form. That was something that was prominent, I remember, with Whitney Houston. God rest her soul. Neptune, and remember this is in Capricorn too, so that could be really prominent. Knees, bones, and skin. Um, I'm going to also say ankle and blood vessels because Saturn also does rule Aquarius too, so that could be something prominent. Neptune rules the feet and lower body fluids, and then Venus would be Taurus, so there could be something prominent about the neck, throat, shoulders, and ears. Libra, could be something prominent about the lower back, hips, kidneys, and endocrines. In terms of, once again, maybe the autopsy, not sure if this stuff is going to come out, but it is what it is. This is so sad, you guys. All right. In terms of other things, his North Node is retrograde in Pisces in his third house in Pisces. So the North Node deals with one's current life purpose, why one comes into this lifetime. The past life, or the South Node would be the past life. So his South Node would be in Virgo. So in a past life, Aaron was someone that lived a life of probably a lot of structure, routine, because Virgo deals with routine, structure, health. In his past life, he may have lived a life that was very regimented. He may have had a schedule he had to stick to, but I think that came through in his current lifetime as Aaron Carter through his career, having to stick to a schedule, for his career, rehearsals, dance rehearsals, making music, being in the studio, those types of things. So that came in effect, especially early on in his career. He already had that from his past life. However, with North Node and Pisces, there's, in this lifetime, it's more of his purpose in this lifetime was to live a life more of going with the flow, a bit more of a free-spirited life. Mastering his talents, his skills, his strengths, his weaknesses, mastering setting boundaries. North Node retrograde in Pisces, specifically in the third house, would show that he was not the best at setting his boundaries, specifically verbally. All right. But North Node in Pisces would also show the energy of also mastering his strengths and his weaknesses, mastering his vices too. All right. Maybe in his past life, his vice was his schedule, his work, sticking to a routine. But once again, with Virgo, it's about structure, and with his North Node retrograde in Pisces, he had no structure. With his North Node retrograde in Pisces in the third house, he specifically had no structure mentally, because the third house can deal with mental health. Third house in Pisces also, he has third house in Pisces, would show that he may have may have had psychiatric issues, possibly. Like he may have seen things, he may have heard voices, things of that nature. But this also could be since he was a young child as well. There may have been issues in some way, shape, or form with mental health. All right. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces, as well as Jupiter's retrograde in Pisces, conjunct his North Node retrograde in Pisces in the third house. I'm wondering, was he going to come out and say something? This deals with secrets and information in some way, shape, or form, y'all. This also could deal with someone wanting to maybe shut him up in some way, allegedly. Jupiter retrograde in Pisces. This may have also involved possibly substances, allegedly drugs or alcohol, maybe. Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Someone knew his vices. Someone knew how to set it up in such a way, if the case is that someone else is involved. Someone knew him enough to set it up in a way that it made it look like it was his fault. Once again, he's already seen as, maybe like a substance, abuser. We're going to set it up to look like this kind of thing. All right. Also, the issue here with the Neptune and Pisces, he may have talked too much. Like, once again, he may have been definitely too trusting, not the best at setting his boundaries, and he may have talked too much. Here we have the moon. First of all, his Jupiter is retrograde in Aries in his fourth house. Once again, family. The fourth house deals with family. His fourth house is in Aries, so there could be anger with the mother in particular. Anger when it comes to family. Aries is associated with Mars, which is once again violence, war, aggression. It is also masculinity, how one expresses themselves, one's image, how one sees himself, how other people see them. Um, he has Jupiter retrograde in Aries in his fourth house, so he had a lot of anger. And the moon that day, the day he passed, was conjunct his Jupiter retrograde. Once again, the moon deals with family, home, emotions. So something happened in his home. There could have once again been involved. It could have involved violence. It could involve a male, because once again, Aries deals with masculinity. Maybe it could involve someone with a masculine energy. Um, and there could be some sort of family aspect, some aspect of him trusting the wrong person, emotionally letting in the wrong person. I'm wondering if he was given something and like it made him slip into like I wonder if he was given a substance and it made him slip away and like someone maybe tried to save him or something, or I don't know. Here we have North Node in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, and his conjunct his fifth house in Taurus. The fifth house deals with his creativity, self-expression, romance, his connection to his life purpose and higher self. North Node in Taurus. This could also be about money, maybe. Once again, ownership of his image, of his creativity, of his childhood, because the fifth house also does deal with childhood. Uranus retrograde in Taurus could be maybe someone from his past. It could be a friend, maybe, or a business partner once again, someone he broke bread with, or maybe owes money even. You know, Uranus does deal with friendships, acquaintances, social groups, social media, the internet, technology, unexpected change. Oh gosh, Mars retrograde in Gemini, conjunct his sixth house in Gemini. Sixth house does deal with work, job, daily routine. Someone knew his daily routine. Mars retrograde in Gemini. Someone knew his routine. Or it may have been like a routine day for him. It may have started out as a routine day and ended, obviously, tragically, as we can see. Gemini can also deal with sibling energy, cousins, aunts and uncles, local energy. Alright. Maybe there's some local footage in some way, shape, or form, possibly. Because Mars retrograde can be the energy of like not tracing your steps properly. So maybe the assailant didn't trace their steps properly, if there is an assailant, or foul play possibly. I don't know. Based on that Pluto conjunct his Venus, I'm gonna say someone may have been involved. Could have been love related, relationship related, someone he was connected to in some way, shape, or form. Someone who knew his secrets, you know, and knew his vices, possibly, once again. Alright. Oh gosh, this is so sad. His vertex is in Leo. I think we're gonna end it here soon. Vertex deals with fate. This shows up in the eighth house. His eighth house is in Cancer. The eighth house is the house of death, evolution, change. Cancer deals with the home. He passed away in his home. Um, so yeah, Cancer also does deal with family. So I'm wondering once again, is family involved here? Once again, there's some family aspect here, you all. I always say Cancer can sometimes be chosen family. So it doesn't necessarily have to be his biological family, but Cancer deals with the mother and the mother side of the family specifically. Alright? Cancer deals with the home. So, in terms of his natal chart, that's on track. He did pass away in his home once again. But here we have Vertex in Leo and Lilith in Leo. He was a bit of a firecracker. Once again, Leo deals with creativity, self-expression, childhood, one's approach to romance, and their connection to their life purpose and higher self. He may have always been someone as well that was told who he was or told what to do. And, it became towards the end of his life, he was in the process of trying to figure out who is he really. And maybe once again people didn't like that. Maybe once again someone in the family, someone connected to family. I wonder where the 8th house was the day he passed, the time he passed. Let's see. 8th house was in Cancer. No, that's his chart. Let's look at the background. The day he passed, the 8th house was in Scorpio. Scorpio deals with death, evolution, change, growth. I'm gonna say it's possible families connected to this, whether it be chosen family or otherwise, I'll say, allegedly for YouTube entertainment purposes, or someone he trusted or valued as family, I'll say as well, alright? Someone he allowed into his home, alright? So something happened in that home, y'all. Hopefully we get more information and answers. This is the end of my reading on Aaron Carter and what happened. It's just, once again, so sad. Let's say a quick prayer. Thank you, Father God, for bringing healing, bringing comfort, bringing some sense of peace in the midst of chaos, in the midst of sadness, in the midst of so many unanswered questions to Aaron Carter's loved ones, to those affected by Aaron Carter's passing, his fans, and all things of this nature. Thank you for allowing Aaron Carter's soul to transition. Whatever happened to him, Father God, we ask that you just allow him to come to some sense of understanding and maybe as much peace as he can come to with that as well. Let Aaron Carter know that we do appreciate him, we do love him, and we send him up with love and light in the name of Jesus. We ask that his soul be healed. We ask that he be greeted with the ancestors, with the spirit guides, with the angels that guided him while he was on earth. In the name of the Mother, the Daughter, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen, amen, and amen. Okay, you guys, all I can offer up is prayer, you guys, and that analysis I just did. All right, hopefully we'll get some answers on this, Aaron. We send him love and light. This is a sad situation. Take off and now, Aaron. I don't know if I can take much more. I'm going to go take a spiritual bath, you all. If you want a personal reading, once again, check out my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. You can text me at 703-791-9162. Can we maybe end this on a kind of positive note? Can we play just a little bit of positive music? Because it's just so sad, all right? Let's play some music. I won't play the whole thing out of respect, for Aaron. It is a sad occasion. But just a little bit, all right? Let's get some positivity. Let's raise the vibration. Psychic with a T, the psychic with a T, that's me, that's me. The one with the T, the one with the T, that's me, that's me. When the planets align, spirit speaks on time, that's me, that's me. When the planets align, spirit speaks on time, that's me, that's me. When the trolls be gone, candle work be strong, that's me, that's me. When the trolls be gone, candle work be strong, that's me, that's me. I don't care what the others say, let's channel some energy today. I don't care what the others say, let's channel some energy today. Capricorn, Virgo, Libra strong, this tarot card reading about to be long. Capricorn, Virgo, Libra strong, this tarot card reading about to be long. Psychic with a T, the psychic with the T, that's me, that's me. The one with the T, the one with the T, that's me, that's me. When the planets align, spirit speaks on time. All right, you guys. I love you all. I'll see you in your own personal reading. I'll see you in the next video. Either way, I will see you soon. Love and light. God bless.